Welcome to the Astoria Film Festival's virtual step and repeat interviews. Today we're speaking with Carolynn Cecilia, whose film Woodford County appears in our 2020 film festival.
She's about 8 years old when she started to ask on a regular. So I told her about the time that I went down to Louisiana. I was 18. I've been thinking about leaving this town as long as I can remember. And then I told her how I started to miss my mama and Texas, and so I was come back. I sent word to that man. Guess he never got it.
Natalie, you ain't never left Texas in your whole damn life. And you and I know it.
Tell us about yourself and your background and what led you to make this film.
Okay. So my name is Carolynn Cecilia. I'm a writer and a director, and I'm also a cinema educator. And I was born and raised in Florida in a very culturally Southern way. And this film, Woodford County, is essentially about my origin story and the stories that I was told growing up about my own parentage. And I wanted to explore telling a part of my story where you don't actually see who is representing me. It's more focused on the two people who began the origin. And I wanted to find this way to empathize with two people whose choices actually caused a lot of distress. And I wanted to explore this idea of oftentimes we think we're doing the right thing in the moment, and we don't think about how that's going to affect somebody 20 or 30 years down the line. And that was something I was really interested in seeing unfold, and seeing two people have to reconcile their decisions. And then just when they think that they've got it right, there's nothing that they can do to turn back.
It's fascinating. A lot of the people I've talked to, a lot of the filmmakers I've talked to, it's sort of as if the film is a very in-depth therapy session and a psychological profile, if you will, of something that they went through. And kind of and some have said that it doesn't really even make sense to them until they watch it back and then realize things they just didn't realize about themselves or about the situation.
Absolutely. And I think so much of film, so much of cinema is like that. And that's why we tell stories in general, because we're trying to work out something about ourselves that we don't fully understand. Yep. And we have to get it out so that we can see it and learn some perspective, I suppose.
And I think that's also why films and TV shows have such a deep following, because in telling your story, you're helping other people resolve their own issues, had.
It was amazing through the casting process and talking to my actors and the time that we spent together in rehearsals, learning their stories and why they connected to the roles and what we all had in common.
That's wonderful. I mean, kind of best case scenario in filmmaking is that you all come back having a better understanding of yourself and and people in your life that maybe were puzzling.
Absolutely. And I think it was interesting as well because Woodford County takes place in a fictional county in Texas that I have placed outside of Amarillo. But we shot it in Massachusetts because that's the furthest our budget could take us. But I had such a culturally Southern upbringing that I knew it had to be in the South. And I wanted that Southern feeling. And it was never meant to be in the snow. It just so happened of that entire season, that was the biggest snow we had. And then it never snowed again. And so it was just like, well, thank God I put Woodford County in North Texas. Like I was Googling, does it snow in North Texas? Okay, cool. No, this is intentional. But that season, I was actually finishing post-production on another film, and we were waiting to do a pickup in the snow because the year before we couldn't get it. And the only time it snowed was when I was filming this movie in Massachusetts. So my other film, it's all CGI snow. I just couldn't make it happen.
Oh my God. Yeah. That pretty much sums up life.
Yeah. Yep. And I tell my students that as all. I'm like, welcome to filmmaking.
Yes.
Enjoy.
What are you kind of up to these days? Are you working on any new projects?
Well, other than survival,
Yes.
trying to not get the COVID.
Yes.
I'm teaching. I am an instructor at the New York Film Academy. This is my 3rd summer with them, and then I'm with them during the year as well. I'm in post-production for another short. I am working on the script of turning Woodford County into a feature. So we're working on that, and then thinking about funding and where we want to shoot. I have a TV show that we were pitching right before COVID started. And so now it's just me and my partner. She and I are trying to think like, okay, well, how can we, maybe put a sizzle reel together or do something so that when it is time to get back into production, particularly in New York and abroad, that we'll be ready to go. I was getting ready to direct. About 2 weeks, we were all scheduled to do another short film right before everything shut down. So right now we're just waiting. And I've recently been asked to direct a series that will mostly take place on Zoom. And so we're just working out the logistics of that. And right now it's just figuring out, how do you work in this environment and in this new world until everything opens back up. Yes. So I'm staying as busy as possible, and lots of reading and lots of self-educating and protests when you can, and writing senators and signing petitions and working on equity within my own sets, and just constantly taking this time to work to be better.
People reach you and find you?
Instagram, Carolynn Cecilia on Twitter.
You
yes, I'm on IMDb. I got IMDb Pro. I got some stuff on Vimeo.
Yep.
I got a TikTok, but it's secret. It's a private TikTok. You can't know that one.
Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Yes, Black Lives Matter. They always did, and they always will. And I will fight you if you say otherwise.
Good.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Nina. And I hope to see you in person soon one day.
Me too. I
that
miss
would be
you.
lovely.
And then it was
I know.
And then the world fell apart. So.
Mm-hmm.